RVing is not what it used to be.
It was like Night of the Living Dead in 3 cities, 2,500 miles. Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes. And long story short, we found freedom, independence, and adventure while RVing full time.
As you all know, we left about a month ago. It's first time for us RVing. We've RV'd 2,500 miles through 9 states. We're having an absolute blast. We didn't realize how much we missed the RV lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But boy, have we known things are not the same. Things have changed a lot. So what do we mean by Night of the Living Dead, guys? It's crazy the way things used to be and the way they are now. And we're not talking about red state, blue states. No. We actually saw this in 3 places along the way. Now, when we set out in 2018, Fresno was the only place in 3 years that we felt a little freaked out by zombies. On this trip, 2,400 miles,
any big city,
9 states, it seems like populated areas are just really weird places. People are different. That's our hometown. Our hometown is Aurora, Colorado. Nobody looks each other in the eyes anymore. Everybody's quiet. You know, it's just a weird feeling. It's almost like populations make people mentally ill, is what I think. And so there was 3 cities that we went into, 2 blue, 1 red, where I've never seen so much homelessness, drug addiction, just sadness, twitching, people on the side of the road in sleeping bags, begging. It's like little by little, and then all of a sudden, here it is, the water's boiling. So that's what we're talking about when we say you really got to be prepared. We live in a world now that is so uncertain. The stock market's breaking records, gold and silver's breaking records, everything is going up and up and up and up and up and up and up.
That's not real.
That's not real. It's not good. And all we do when we turn on the news is we hear lies. You can't believe a word our government says anymore. And so all we're saying is we love RVing. We've missed it. We've really, truly missed the RV lifestyle. But it's different. And so what we're trying to do we're trying to help you prepare for things you might not be thinking about. We will be going live Sunday night. Mercedes and I have had some incredible time to reflect and look at the whole picture of the past 3 years and the insanity of it all. We will be splitting up. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end of this video, but tomorrow, Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central, going live. I'm going to tell you all about what we're doing moving forward. These are 10 tips to prepare you for RVing in uncertain times. Number 1, you got to have a checklist, right? Before you even start putting anything in the RV, you got to make a checklist. My wife is awesome at that. Tell us about the checklist. I was going to say,
you are talking about a checklist? This is all the Twilight Zone.
Planning, you guys. She's been planning this
really
for weeks. Look at this.
I did really good.
She adds everything, and then what she'll do is she'll color code this with different color pencils.
You're missing it. You missed this side.
This side.
You missed this side. I have the before we can go, food to bring, items to bring, food shopping, food prep, gifts.
My wife's list.
Yeah.
Nice job, baby.
Because you were not the list type.
I'm not. I keep it in my mind.
When I do give him a list, it has to fit in a Post-it note. If I'm giving him information that's more than a Post-it note, I'm bogging him down with too many details. So you really do need to be prepared for everything, because you don't know if you break down, are you going to break down in a good part of town, in a bad part of town? You have no way of knowing what is safe and what isn't when you are not from that area.
Right. And so the bottom line here, guys, number 1 is to start with a list. Have a list weeks before you leave. Mercedes started a list. We started thinking about everything that could go wrong. We started thinking about extra parts and different tools and all the things we needed to make this trip a success. Number 2, have plenty of money on your person. And when I say money, I'm talking about money. Number 1, you probably have some quarters. You might have to do some laundry along the way, right? But have extra cash, guys. Always have some extra cash, $100, $200 a day for what you're planning on traveling. And I always bring some junk silver with me. These dimes right here. These dimes, 10 dimes, they're worth about $2.40 each. Pre-1942 dimes, 90% silver. If the wheels come off, and I think it's going to happen any day, junk silver is going to help you get home to where you need to be. This stuff, most gas stations in America, believe it or not, will take junk silver as payment for gas.
Don't assume. We live in such a digital time, and it's very easy to assume that you could just do your card, because the cards are safer, right? Credit cards are safer. If they get stolen, you can stop them.
We're used to them.
But we've been to a lot of places where they only take cash, or the cash makes things a lot easier, or even just doing laundry. Good old-fashioned laundry
What if that
quarters.
change machine is broken?
Exactly.
And then on this trip, and we both have excellent credit, I had 3 cards declined by the credit card companies because they saw me jumping around different states. They had no idea we were traveling. So all these alerts go off. So the point is, have some cash on you. Be ready for anything. Don't rely on your credit cards. Don't rely on the banks for what you need. Some other things is additional parts for your RV. Man, are they making some junk RVs today, you guys? It seems the newer they are, the more complicated they are, and the easier they break, right? And so make sure you have spare parts for just about everything that you can think of. Make sure you have the right tools to do the job. To do the job on the side of the road if you have to. Make sure you have a spare tire. Make sure you have all the tools necessary to get you out of trouble if you do get in trouble and break down.
Well, yeah, even like the breakers, fuses, all those kinds of things. You want to think of that ahead of time.
Fill your gas tank before you go, and I would highly suggest, this is what we did. We topped off our tank as we drove along the way. When we travel, we like to stop every 45 minutes or an hour, get out, stretch out. When I couldn't, it was a gas station. I just topped my tank off. Top my tank off. Number 3, self-defense. Now, I got to be careful here with YouTube. YouTube doesn't like me. I've been a detriment to our channel, the RV Odd Couple, over the past year and a half because I say whatever I think, right? So what I'm going to say is self-defense. I'm not going to use keywords, but you guys know what I'm talking about. 2A, whether it's lethal or non-lethal defenses. Just make sure you have everything you need and to defend you, yourself, your family, and have a plan on how you're going to do that.
Let's face it. You are a ginormous target. The vehicle is bigger than most vehicles. You've got these big, beautiful out-of-state tags that are saying, I'm not from here and I'm traveling and I probably have extra cash on me because I'm traveling. Like, people kind of know, right? And then if you have a newer RV, people just assume that you must be loaded with buco dollars if you have a new RV. So you're a target. And even little things like keeping a light on, prevention.
Make sure all your locks work. Make sure all your baggage doors lock. Make sure you change those locks out because most people have a key that fits everybody else's RV. So make sure you change all your locks, get digital keys, whatever you need. And that's a really great point. We stayed in contact with family members. We let them know where we stopped. We actually let them follow us on our phones.
Sharing location.
Let family and friends know where you are at all times. Check in the morning, check in midday, check in at night. Just make sure that family and friends know where you are at all times. And also have a plan. Yeah. If something goes wrong, you want to be able to get to a friend's house or somebody you can pull off the road until things settle down.
I think that's something that the pandemic really, there's pre-pandemic RVing and then post-pandemic RVing. And pre-pandemic RVing, I never really worried about that. And now it's just something you always got to keep in mind. Yeah,
for those of you who weren't RVing during the pandemic, we can promise you there was nothing left on the shelves. There was no toilet paper. You couldn't leave your rig. You couldn't leave your campground. You couldn't drive around at night. So if you haven't experienced that, now they're talking about this new virus and they're talking about this new monkey thing and this other chicken virus and a cow virus. It looks like, and it's funny because the last time this happened was 4 years ago when the last election was about to happen. Number 6, always be prepared to boondock. Something goes wrong, you want to get into a quiet area. You want to be able to feed yourself. You want to be able to have water. We carry these wherever we go. What's the name of that pump that we use?
Nomad.
We have a Nomad. So you have to have shelter, food, and water. In an RV, it's really difficult to carry food because it's heavy.
But cans are really
heavy. The refrigerator only holds so much. So dried goods are a great thing. You guys are going to make fun of us, but we had 30 days worth of food for myself, Skippy, and Mercedes when we made this trip. 30 days of dry food, just in case. But always be ready to boondock. Have backup power, have backup fuel, have backup water, or a water straw where you can any type of source of water. You got to have food, shelter, energy, and water.
You need to have what you need for best case and what you need for worst case.
Yeah.
So best case, you have electric. So you're fine. Worst case, you have to go off your propane or you have to, solar, whatnot. Best case, you have a city hookup to water. Worst case, you have enough water on board that you can get the essentials taken care of. Best case, worst case, at all times, you have to have a backup for any of your basic needs.
You run out of water, you can get to a puddle and suck through this straw and you'll get water into you and hydrate yourself. So every RVer should practice boondocking, even if it's out next to your house before you're getting out ready to go. You know,
Yeah.
Start getting used to your rig. Know how much gallons of water, propane your tank holds. Know how much your black tank holds. Know how much your gray tank holds. Get to know your rig. Check your vitals on your rig constantly. Just understand how it works. Obviously, when you know you're going off grid and you don't know how long you're going to be off grid, you've got to really learn how to conserve your resources, your water. You know, how many times you flush the toilet. When I'm parked out and it's a safe place to do so, I pee outside. You know, I'm not afraid of that. I mark my territory, and it drives Mercedes crazy. But why use the toilet? No, am I going to poop around my RV? No, certainly not. I'm not going to do that. I use the toilet. But if nobody's around and I'm not going to harm or offend anybody, yeah, I will be known to pee outside every now and then.
Okay, and I'm wondering, because we've never talked about this in a video, but can you put in the comments, is this just a guy thing?
It's a guy thing.
Because I don't have the need to mark my territory, but when we were full-time RVing, this guy was like, oh yeah, I want to mark every state. And it's just like, that is not something that's on my to-do list, but it was really high on his.
I have officially marked my scent in 42 states across America, but there's still some left in my bucket piss. I will pee in the rest of America someday. All right, number 7, guys, have the apps. You know, we don't work with these affiliate companies anymore because most of them are rats.
Yeah.
What we will tell you here is redundancy. Download all the apps you can, you know, possible that's going to help you camp. That's going to help you find campgrounds. That's going to help you find places to dump.
Maps.
That's going to, maps and stuff. But I say redundancy. Everybody likes their own app. So try Campendium. Try the other ones. There's 50,000 apps out there. RV Life's got one. We don't affiliate with any of these guys. Pull them down. Don't pay for them. Guys, don't pay for them. Quite frankly, we use our phone for most of it. Even when we navigate from place to place, we not only use her phone, my phone, we also use a hard map. So redundancy is the key. And remember, if the grid goes down, you don't have apps to use, it's going to be old-fashioned map reading, and hopefully you got a partner like I have to get you there.
Well, and actually, when you're talking about these apps, I'm thinking to myself, I hate the apps.
I hate the
apps. I actually like the paper more. And if I'm traveling to the east, I move the map this way, and then I know what's here and there.
You are the best at that.
Well, I like the maps a lot. And what's really cool is that when you go into a new state from a major highway and you stop at their welcome center, usually it's the first rest stop that's once you cross that into that state's line. Most of the time, they will give you a free state map. So it's up to date. It's just a piece of paper. So I have all of these state maps.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish I had known this earlier because I missed out on a lot of different state maps.
We'll get back there.
Well, what I like having the paper because I don't want to depend on the internet connection and on the phone.
Bingo. Communications, you can't rely, back to the phone again, you can't rely on this. Guys, have an emergency radio with you, or a two-way radio. Or what's the other one that they do that Bubba uses?
The ham radio?
Yeah, ham radio. Have a radio with you. And just in case we get cut off, just listen to the radio. Pick something up.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is getting kind of funny to me because I'm thinking you should keep a lot of flammable things so then you can do smoke signals too. And if you know Morse code better.
Don't do smoke signals. Then you're giving up your location. Don't do smoke staves.
But you know what I mean? It is true. You do want to have a couple ways to get a hold of people.
Don't rely on your phones for internet. You should have some type of a hotspot so that you can always get a connection. This is a big one for me, guys. This is just a suggestion. If you have to go into the cities, go into the cities. Stay the heck away from these cities. They are not the same places they used to be. No. Cities across our country, Denver, Springfield. Where else did we go? We went through a city in Illinois. Guys, we were locking the doors and terrified going through some of these cities. And, I'm praying for these people. But just if you don't have to go into the cities, don't. If you have a huge 42-foot fifth wheel, try to stay away from the cities. If you have to go and maybe park outside the city and take the bus in or take the train in if you have to. The one way you can go into the city, if you're nimble like us, we've got a little 25-footer. We can get anywhere. We can even go through drive-thrus in this little 25-footer. We absolutely love our little 25-foot Winnebago. We have a very close friend. She's been following us, I think, the whole 6 years we've been doing this. Her name is Virginia. We love you, Virginia. Never met her, but she comments every week. She swore up and down for years that I should try a 25-footer, and she was right.
Well, that's cool. She called it.
She called it. She knew it. And so thank you. We really appreciate it. Cities, populated areas are just becoming dangerous. Stay out of them, guys. There's no need to be there unless you're going to see family. And then I'm going to give you one more bonus. Get close to God, pray, and prepare for what's coming. See you Sunday night.